Hello, it's Gray.
Hi, it's Crystal.
And this is Best Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show several times.
And I, someone who only knows about the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For today's episode, we will be discussing Season 6, Episode 6, You Can't Handle the Truth. Written by... It's a long list.
Who the fuck
story
are
by
these
David
people?
Reed, Eric Charmello, and Nicole Snyder. Teleplay by Eric Charmello and Nicole Snyder.
What
and it's
teleplay?
directed, like, it's the script. I don't know. Like, I
What's
think it's like
this?
story versus script or something.
Okay.
And then directed by Jan Eliasberg. We all know Eric Charmello and Nicole Snyder. Like,
Do we?
they're gonna be here. Well, I mean, I do. Eric Charmello's gonna be... Okay, he's gonna be
Oh my god, he wrote
until-
Dog Day in the Afternoon, your favorite
Yes!
episode.
Oh my god, that's why I know him. And, like, intimately, even.
Okay, I have heard of him because I think he either liked or retweeted Destiel fanfiction once.
Oh, yeah.
Destiel art.
Probably, yeah. Nicole Snyder, they're the combo, the duo.
Huh. And this director has only directed this episode.
Yeah. Dog Day in the Afternoon, writers of all time. One would even say the writers of the best episode of Supernatural. But, you know, let's see when we get there. This episode, You Can't Handle the Truth. They're going to borrow an element of this in the future with Jack.
Yeah, he truth spells everybody, and then they're like,
Yeah.
we gotta kill him.
Yeah, but it's not really... Like, I think that one is played a lot more for comedy, but probably just because late season Supernatural is so fucking funny. So, that's probably why I think it's hilarious. This episode, I do think they do clever things with it. Like, I enjoyed the case. I like the case. I think, for example, we realize, maybe you realized this before me, but like we realize when the Dean thing happens where he like curses everyone to be honest with him, that like it's triggered by saying like, oh, I just want the honest truth or something.
Yeah.
And I think they do it subtly enough in the previous times that we've seen it that like you don't really catch that that's what's happening. And
Yes,
I think
you
it's
do. They zoom
incredibly
in
fun.
on her mouth in the cold open. Were
I
you
think
knitting?
I was. What?
Okay. Next.
At what point do I need to stop knitting while watching the episode? To be fair, I
When you
did
start
try.
watching the episode.
So, like, in the long run in life, like, at what episode should I start? Not.
Yeah, you know what? Probably season 6 doesn't matter until Man Who Would Be King.
I mean, Cass is in this episode very briefly, which I love.
Yeah, why did they have sex
Love
on
it.
my screen?
No, that pouring the thing is crazy. I did put down my knitting. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think I have said this many times, many times, but I do love it when Cass is like a mysterious guy who shows up only for a bit of the episode. Love it.
Yeah.
Always do. Always will, always had. Well, yeah, what did you know about this episode actually? Did you know that Dean
You
and Cass are going to
misled
have
me
gay sex? Yeah,
about
well,
it last time, because I thought this was the Fight the Fairies episode, and you were like, yep. But it's not, so I didn't know anything about it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I mean, You Can't Handle the Truth feels
It
like
sounds
it would
similar
be the
to
title.
Clap Your Hands If You Believe, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a title of an Alien episode.
I
but
agree.
Apparently, it's not. I actually forgot that they do this gimmick because like this whole like everybody is going to be brutally honest with me or around me is a thing that I only remember from like, you know, season 14 when it happens.
I knew there was an earlier truth spell episode because there were people in the STL world who were like, well, what if Cass showed up after Dean had said the thing? Let's think about it. But yeah.
Well, okay, so like, I mean, I also realized like they did like a coming soon or whatever part a couple episodes back. And they did have a part where Dean's like, you can't lie to me anymore. What is it, Sam? You know.
Yeah.
Love the Sam bits this episode. Truly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the case was whatever. I think that the Sam stuff was interesting.
I think that the case is good for what they were trying to do. Which is, you know, like, it's not really a case episode where it's about the case. It's very much not about the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate it for what it was. I do want to have just a plain old regular case episode again. But I guess until Sam is not soulless anymore, we can't really have that, can we? So, yeah, love a case. When are we gonna have a case? This season is going to have that scene where like Cass is about to get eaten by a vampire or something, and then Dean chops its head off, and then like it's like blood that sprays like cum on Cass.
Oh yes,
And then,
yes,
like,
I know of what you speak.
Literally unrelated to anything that happens this episode. I just thought I'd bring it up. Okay, well, road so far. Just like basically like what they did before last episode and also last episode. I do think that they do a good job of like really putting us in the situation of Dean's I don't know, like emotional state. Like they focus a lot on Lisa and Ben, and then they focus a lot on the insecurity he feels with regards to Sam. Like later on we'll discuss it at length, but like I do think, like, if you watch this and then you watch the final scene of the episode, it, like, you understand, you know, like, they connect, they connect the themes well. Where it's like, Dean is, like, was it last episode? Oh, no. I thought they said this last episode, but I thought maybe it's too in your face to say this. But no, it was said by someone who reviewed it on IMDb.
What?
But somebody said that, like, I can't believe Dean is losing everything. Like, he's losing Lisa and Ben and his trust to his little brother. You know, all that. And I was, like, this episode is about
Bobby
that.
you're the only one I can talk to about Sam and Lisa and all that stuff. So he basically says it.
Yeah. And, like, you know, like, the last scene of this episode is about that. Like, Dean realizing that he has lost it. Like, he lost Lisa and Ben. Like, because of his brother, who he has also lost. And it's like, well, it's like, hey, I mean, it's, you know, I have complicated feelings about it, but okay, let's proceed. First scene of this episode is we are at a at Biggersons. Love it. Love a Biggersons. We have seen a Biggersons before in season 3 with Bella, right?
Yes.
That was a Biggersons. They won a whole year free,
like a bunch of
burger
free meals
or something
from it or whatever.
Yeah, love it. But like, I don't think we have seen a Biggersons as prominently as this after.
Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, Biggersons is going to be a big deal next season. Like, they really go ham on the Biggersons. One may even say they go big on the Biggersons. But basically, this woman who is working as a waitress tonight is calling her friend or her sister, I think. Yeah. And she's saying that, like, it's just this guy, like, he didn't really call me back, but, like, maybe I should call him. Like, we had a good time. And, you know, she's doing all that, and then she goes, It's just so complicated. But I just need the truth. And apparently it zooms in on her mouth. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's just her mouth. It's clear immediately from the first 1 minute of the episode that is what triggers the truth thing.
Well, have you considered that some people are not looking at the screen all the time for the entire 42 episode run of this episode?
Well, yeah, I have considered it. And I think those people should grow up. No, it's literally fine. You should knit.
Yeah. And, she goes out and about. This is so funny because I thought it was the cook that cursed her or something. Because I completely
his cum.
Yeah. Anyway, the cook says that, hey, she's getting soup from him to serve to the people, and he tells her that, hey, stay away from the clam chowder, flavored it with my own ... seasoning. And she's like, okay, weird, the fuck? She goes out, a guy who's a manager in the store tells her you know what? Our new waitress, she's so much hotter than you. She's an 8 and you're a 3. He doesn't say it in a gay voice. He says it in a derogatory way. I mean, I guess also if you say it in a gay voice, it's also derogatory.
It's still derogatory.
But you know what I mean? He's not saying it in I'm a cunty diva way. And then she goes up to a lady. The lady goes, I killed a homeless guy once by running over him. And then I didn't even stop to see if he was alive. Another little girl is like, I hate my mommy. And that she'd want to burn her in her sleep. It's just all of this. Someone telling her she's a creep, you're pathetic, a desperate loser. And then eventually she just gets overwhelmed, opens a drawer, picks up a gun, and then she goes to call her sister. And her sister is like, oh, you sound horrible. Have you been drinking? Oh, you're a freak. And she goes, you're certifiable. Love it. Yeah, she says, every time my phone rings, I hate it so much and I want you to kill yourself. Why don't you just kill yourself? And then she does. Yeah, and the way she does it is we get the blood splatter and it pans up, and as the blood splatter happens, and it's at a bigger sign.
So her sister says that she hates getting calls from her because she always has another crisis.
Yeah.
I feel talking about whether or not you want to call a guy back is just that's part of the friendship and sister contract.
Yeah.
That's not a crisis. It's a fun thing you bring to your friends so you can have a conversation. I feel if they wanted that to land, she should have actually been having a crisis at the beginning.
Yeah. And also, later on, the way it was portrayed, or when Sam and Dean interview the sister, is that, this waitress has always been, depressed or something. Yeah, she has suicidal tendencies and this pushed her over the edge kind of thing. Yeah. And it's we don't really get that vibe. So, yeah. It's supposed
I mean, she has a gun in a drawer. Yeah. I think that says something, yeah.
But, it's at work.
Yeah, in case she wants to kill herself at work, too.
I mean, where else are you gonna do it?
Yeah. Dean's talking to Bobby on the phone, and Bobby's maybe I do love you like a coworker. He just doesn't seem super engaged in what Dean said about just something's off with Sam. Dean thinks that he might be possessed by Lucifer, which is fun. I didn't think about that as a potential way Dean could think about it.
I mean, the last time Dean saw Sam was when he was possessed by Lucifer. So, it makes sense. I didn't consider it too, but, from Dean's entire point of view, it makes complete fucking sense. I'm also surprised I haven't thought of it before. There.
Yeah, he's been calling Cass, no answer. And And Bobby's like, are you sure that what you saw is what you saw? And Dean's like, yes. And also, I'm gonna kill him. And Bobby's like, okay, I agree that something's off. Just don't kill him yet. Because we need to know how to kill him before you try.
Bobby's never beating the coworker allegations.
Yeah.
Later on, this is the episode where he tells Dean, "You're my favorite."
Yeah.
And he's like under a spell, so like he can't even let like this is the whole fucking truth. And I mean, we know it's true, but like we know it's double true.
But yeah, Bobby is just like, whatever, suck it up, get in the car with him. I know he gives you the creepy crawlies, but like he is your case. Pay attention. So Sam comes up with sandwiches for the two of them, and Dean's like, I was just calling Lisa. And Sam puts on like a fake sympathetic face about how she still hasn't called him back.
But like, it's not effective. Like, he goes like, oh, she hasn't contacted you yet? And Dean's like, yeah. And then Sam like, automatically, without any pause whatsoever, just goes, sucks.
So real. But yeah, he brings out the newspaper with Jane's suicide, saying that it's the 4th in that town in the week. So they go to interview her sister, Olivia. Yeah, they throw out, I think, another Obama joke where Sam says the reason that the FBI cares about a suicide is because it's a new, more caring administration. Olivia just seems really nervous, and she lies about how, oh, I just tried to cheer Jane up. And Sam gets really intense, and he's like, you just displayed a tell. Do you know what that is? It's a poker term for when you're bluffing. You're a fucking liar. Except instead of saying it in a cunty diva voice, he just says it in a menacing straight man voice. Not that he is straight, but that's what his voice is like in that scene.
Yeah, but like he's really giving it all with his sicko smirk in this episode. Like this entire time, every single scene where he's like talking about these people, he's like, oh, this is so fun. Look at this woman. She's lying. Like, that's the vibe the entire time from Sam.
Pretty sympathetic later when he talked to the sister or friend or mom or whoever of that girl.
I'm not sure, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. The sister, mom, or girlfriend.
Well, not girlfriend, because, well, she was worried about her boyfriend cheating on her. I mean, could also be a girlfriend, but I feel like if you were in a polyamorous situation, you'd be less worried about cheating.
Was she talking about woman? I thought she was talking about a guy who, like, is the car crash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the person who crashed the car was a dude. And she's the girlfriend.
No, she was, the person who crashed the car was like a high school girl who was worried that her boyfriend was cheating on her and who killed her pet cat to summon Veritas or whatever her name is.
Okay, well, love is love or something.
Yes. Yeah, so Sam goes, tell us what you did to your sister. And Dean's like, holy fuck, Sam. But yeah, Olivia breaks down and says that she wanted to tell Jane, I love you, I'm here for her. But what came out was, you're a burden, just kill yourself. And she's crying and really upset with herself about it. Jane's the whole day, like, she killed herself because every time she went somewhere, people were like, you're a loser and I hate you. Like, is that really the deepest truth of everybody who eats at the Biggersons?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like
I just feel
if
like
you're
the beginning's sort of incongruous.
You would not give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about when I eat anywhere.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had an opinion about a waiter besides, like, I hope that I'm being polite to this person. Yeah, so after that interview, they didn't find anything in the house that indicates witchcraft, but Sam says, I bet she was already suicidal because she had a tuba and crochets.
And is there truth to this?
Well, you knit, so no, that's probably not crochet. A joke for the podcast. You also crochet, yeah.
Yeah, and I keep a harmonica on my desk that I never use.
But yeah, and they're just like, I wonder why her sister said that shit. And they drive off.
We go to a dentist's office. Like, it's obvious that these two, like the patient and the dentist, are like kind of like, they know each other previously. Mm-hmm. And the patient is like, oh, this is it's horrible. You should have put me on Valium. Like, I'm so scared. And the dentist goes like, no, it's fine. And then like at the background, I guess something's happening or other. I don't know. But like, there's a lady who's speaking in the news.
Ashley Frank.
Yeah. Like, later on, it is actually hilarious that they were like, you know what the modern day version of, like, speaking at the town square is? Being a newscaster. And then they, like, chose one person to inspect in the whole entire newscasting team. And they were right. Yeah. Like, slay.
I mean, her last name is Frank.
Oh, that's true.
But it was still a logical leap. It was a huge logical leap, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, the patient goes like, I gotta be honest, Paul. I don't really want to be here. And then after this, he is compelled to be honest. And how he's honest is he tells this dentist that like he's not attracted to his wife anymore. And he's disgusted by her sagging skin or something. But what he's really attracted to is like this dentist's kid. And like, he admits to raping her in her sleep.
Yeah. She came over for a sleepover with his daughter and yeah.
Yeah. And the dentist drills a hole into the back of his skull.
Yeah. Kills that guy. Deserves.
Yeah. Anyway.
So.
Like, later on, we find out that this dentist, like, killed himself after.
Yeah.
So.
But not before telling his assistant everything that the guy he killed confessed to. Because Sam somehow gets that information from her, even though she was out of the room.
Well, maybe there's, like, a
security
CCTV.
footage?
Yeah. But like,
in
can
a dentist?
get that audio?
Well, that feels kind of HIPAA violation-y, like
true.
within the actual dentist operating room.
We go back to Dean, who is like trying to call Bobby again. And yeah, Bobby's like, look, Dean, you may think that Sam is a monster. But have you considered that maybe he's just Sam?
He's just like that now.
Yeah. Like, he's changed, dude. Grow up. That's what Bobby said. And Dean is basically like, no, Bobby, that's impossible. I'll give you a day, and I'll do my own research, and I'll kill whoever this is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I know why he doesn't want to think it's just Sam, but like, literally, like, the main thing that you hunt are demons. Demons are humans who went to hell and then got a bit fucked up about it.
Literally.
Like, it's fully possible.
No, but like, Sam doesn't react to holy water.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, there's gotta be a midway point between human and demon where you're, like, a little bit fucked up.
I am also curious if Sam came back here and he, you know, Dean holy waters him. He goes, ah! Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna kill him?
Well, Dean seems down to kill him right now, and he's not even reacting to holy water.
No, but like, his reaction right now, it's not that it's Sam turned into something else. Like, he thinks it's a doppelganger. So, like, I do think it's a different situation. Like, he thinks this is someone else mimicking Sam instead of Sam having changed and grown as a person. Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, later on, Dean does in fact become a demon.
Yeah.
So, but like, it's a different situation. Again, like, he didn't like go to hell, get tortured back, became a demon. Like, it's a different situation. So I don't know. It's a fun thought exercise, I would say.
Yeah, I think they would. I don't know. I think they would keep him in the panic room, at least. Like, if Sam came back as a demon, like
they tried
were
to exorcise
that
the demon out of him or something.
Oh yeah, they might.
I mean, they do it to Dean.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the Book of the Damned, but they have to wait because it's with Rowena. Sam will just have to walk around as a demon for a couple seasons.
Well, they're not gonna let him walk around. They restrained him when he was drinking demon blood. I don't think they'll give him his freedom as a demon. Dean then tries to call Lisa, but then gives up. The whole Dean-Lisa situation this episode and last episode, completely mind-boggling. Like, we came into the season liking their relationship a lot. And now it's like, where did the things we like go? And why can't he just say the sentence, I was a vampire? Whatever. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, it is so stupid. Like, I can't explain. Actually, you can.
Yeah, it's actually really easy. So, yeah. Sam comes in with news of this dentist thing. And Dean's like, you go ahead and interview him. I'm just gonna stay back and do some research. And Sam's suspicious about this, but it's like, okay, sure. So, yeah, Sam gets from the dental hygienist that the dentist hung himself in his cell. And, yeah, his patient was confessing to some really fucked up stuff. So, yeah, murder, pretty justified is what Sam says. And so they realize that some kind of a truth spell is going on.
Did you mention the, like, not the sexy kind of drilling? I think that's a famous show.
It's a famous line, but I don't find it important to my journey.
Well, I just want to say that Sam does say, a dentist just drilled a guy to death, and Dean goes, not the sexy kind of drilling? There we go.
They split up. Dean goes to the dentist's office, Sam goes to the morgue, and we see that Dean has been opening an article called Doppelganger. Does Dean have his own laptop now? This is his own laptop? He's not leaving this for Sam to open his laptop and be like, why were you on the page for doppelgangers?
Sam, in case you forgot, was dead was gone from Dean's life for a year. So one can assume that Dean did get a laptop of his own.
It's fair. Well, I don't think it's fair that Sam no longer has his own car, but Dean still has his own laptop. When he inspects the dentist's office, he sees that he recently bought a saxophone, and some reeds from Harry's House of Horns. And he remembers how Jane was also affiliated with this store. She had a tuba.
It is awfully convenient. What an awfully convenient thing. Because what happens is that this is like completely unrelated. But when Dean gets there, he realizes that a horn is missing. And the horn happens to be Gabriel's horn of truth. But you don't need to know this.
Well, it's not. It looks like it.
It's not?
No, it's not. Cass looked everywhere in the town and he said that it's not Gabriel's horn of truth.
Yeah,
right?
but I thought he was like, he was mistaken or lying or something. Because it's the god who's
Yeah. When did you watch this episode?
Literally right before. When I hopped into this call, I just finished it.
Nice.
Well,
okay.
Some lines were not connected, you know? In my brain. They were very much connected in the episode, it seems like. It's like completely unrelated at all.
Yeah, it's a red herring.
Oh, how did they find out that, like, this is what's happening? Oh, Sam looked into the room and saw a dead cat or something.
Yeah, he saw the ingredients used for the summoning spell and was able to do research.
Slay.
And this is the quality of reporting you'll get from us here at Busty Asian Beauties. Oh, in Harry's House of Horns, Dean's interviewing Harry, and he just doesn't have any information to give, but he's like, hey, FBI agent, why haven't you found my stolen horn yet? And he reveals that the horn is about 1,000 years old. It's a museum piece. And he shows him a photo of it. And they do not know this horn's provenance. And it got stolen around the time that Jane died.
We go to Dean. He's like on his lappy toppy, looking up. He finds Gabriel's horn of truth. And he goes like in a praying voice, I suppose. He goes like, Cassiel, hello. Possible loose nuke down here. Angelic weapon, blah, blah, blah. Kind of your department. And then like kind of like out of character, you know, like out of that voice, he goes, you hear that, Cass? And then like he starts standing up and like moving around. And then whoosh, whoosh, angel wings. And Cass is there. He goes, hello, Dean. And Dean looks so sad. He looked so sad. Like, he's mad that he has been apparently like calling for Cass about Sam for a while now. And, you know, he's bitter that Cass only came for this stupid horn, as he calls it. And Cass goes, you asked me to be here and I came. Well, something, whatever. And Cass said that, like, the reason why he didn't show up the days in which Dean has been asking for help regarding Sam is because he has nothing to offer regarding that.
Yeah.
But he also says that, like, we know that he's not Lucifer because if he was, we'd know. And this entire time, they do this thing where he, like Dean's, like, was about to pour himself a bottle of whiskey. So he's holding a glass. And Cass takes the takes the bottle of whiskey. And then, like, full eye contact.
Yeah.
He pours the whiskey into Dean's cup. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Like,
Fun
not looking
stuff.
down, full eye contact.
And
like,
Dean, like,
yeah, not blinking.
Dean, I think, gets
And
a
he's
little
doing
bit
it, like,
uncomfortable.
while they're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. Dean, like, notices, I guess, what's happening and gets a little bit uncomfortable because, like, he, like, looks down a bit. Like, he's like, we're gonna have this conversation while you're pouring me a drink, looking directly into my eyes. Like, he looks down at the drink a little bit, but eventually, like, just looks up and, like, it's kind of like a weird scene. But good for them. Cass is always in a weird scene or two.
Yeah, they did have sex. Like, that was what that was.
Was it? Good for them.
Good for them.
Like, Dean asks, like, what's wrong with Sam? And Cass says, I don't know, Dean. I'm sorry. And, like, Dean asks, like, what happened to you? You used to be human, or at least like one. And Cass says that he said, like, last time that he's at war. And so now he is an asshole with no heart of gold.
Yeah, certain regrettable things are now required of me.
Yeah. And Dean brings up the Horn of Truth. And Cass is like, wait, you've seen it? Which is like hilarious because that's what he came down for. And Dean is like, yeah, it's like around town or something, I think. And then the moment he says that, like, we hear the flutter of the angel wings and Cass is gone, and Dean's like, oh, fucking hell or something. But then Cass reappears behind him. And Cass goes, it's not the horn of truth. Apparently he says that. I mean, he does say it, and I did hear it. I just didn't realize that means that it's not the horn of truth. Dean asked, like, what the hell? Like, you were gone for just 2 seconds. Where did you look? And Cass, very serious face. That's my serious Cass voice. He goes, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, and he says it not, like, as a reveal. He says, it's like, what the fuck? Why are you asking me this? Like, everywhere.
Yeah.
This is so important. Dean is, bitter and a bit upset with him. Like, starts turning around again. Like, dismissing Cass. But then Cass goes, Dean, about your brother, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I do want to help. I'll make inquiries. And, like, he disappears as Dean turns back to face him. And Dean takes a sip of his whiskey and goes, yeah, thanks. Wow.
Well, I think he's, like, angrily. I don't think he's...
No. Yeah, no. Like, I'm, like, he doesn't say it, like, with, like, gratitude. He says it in kind of, like, a resigned, like, yeah, you say that, sure, kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It must be weird to have, like, a guy you keep on calling who shows up once every couple of weeks, has really intense eye contact with you, and then leaves. Like, it must be a hilarious thing to experience.
Yeah, I mean, the last time they met, Cass tortured a kid with no remorse, which I guess is so the foundation of the what happened to you. You used to be human, or at least like one.
No, but like, so it's very obvious that the complaint here. I mean, the complaint last episode too, when Cass showed up, was like, Sam needs you. Why aren't you showing up? So yeah.
But yeah, I guess. In season 5, like, every time they called Cass, he would show up, right?
In season 5?
Yeah, just, like, immediately, like, in My Bloody Valentine and all that.
Yeah. I mean, immediately, but so also, like, there are several times where they don't really, like, call him specifically, but he's there anyway. And, like, he had nothing better to do, number one. So, like... He was unemployed. He was bored. So that's the reason why. And now he's misreemployed, so.
It must be weird to transition to that kind of relationship with Cass. I mean, this is the episode where Dean calls all the people in his life, and all of them, like, help him to an extent, but also reject him to an extent. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is... I think it was a smart move to have a Cass scene in here to, like, sow the seeds of, like, this isn't Lucifer, this is Sam for real, and also to just have Dean feel generally abandoned. Sam's in the morgue, and he learns that the bodies of all the other people who killed themselves, like, just straight up disappeared for real.
And Sam, like... thinks that the coroner is fucking with him. So he goes, oh, so you're not gonna tell me how, what about I give a little something to your supervisor or something?
Should I have a little chat with your supervisor? Should I give a little something? Feels different.
No, he's saying, can I talk to your manager? Is what he's saying.
Yes.
And the coroner is like, look, they're gone. Which is very fun.
Yeah. So, Dean's in a bar, and Ashley Frank of News is on the TV. They've, like, made this story more prominent than some of the earlier ones where she was on the background. And he's just drinking. Dean gets a call from Sam, about all the bodies disappearing, but also another body that disappeared was not ruled a suicide. it was reported as a car accident. So he's gonna go to that person's house because she's patient 0. She died a week before the rest of them. And Dean's like, okay, I'll head over. But before he does, he decides that he needs another drink because being around Sam just sucks so bad.
I mean, it does suck. I said this last episode. Like, it is a horrific situation. Yeah, I agree. Go like, Sam is so funny. Because he is. Like, it's a funny thing to see Jared Padalecki act like this. But it is like a horrific situation.
So, and Dean tells the bartender, I just like the freaking truth. And then the bartender acquiesces. She goes, sometimes I think I can't get pregnant because God knows my marriage is a sham. Honestly, a real slay secret. Like, a real fun one, I think.
Literally.
And then she goes, why did I say that? Which none of the patrons at Bickerson said earlier. I just wish that there was more consistency in how this worked between the
only
cold
Bobby
open and now.
And her kind of have that.
Oh, Lisa also has that came out way harsher than I intended.
Yeah, she does, yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, I mean, I've been snorting Oxy all day. Why'd I say that? And Dean's like, oh, okay. It's time for me to have been truth spelled. Dean starts heading out, and they don't like women very much this episode, I would say. Yeah.
It is just an odd thing to do, this scene that you're about to mention, just because it's like a very serious time already. Like, we're in the episode, we're having a serious time. And even the beginning of this episode was a serious time. Like, we start with Dean being like, I think Sam wants to kill me or something. Like, it's serious shit. And then they have this like little, I suppose, like comedic relief in the middle that is like so disjointed from the rest of the episode. Like, after this scene, Dean goes out and calls Bobby to be like, okay, Bobby, I'm just testing if this works because now I'm gonna ask Sam what he is and why he let
Bobby's
me
like, I do some things that are feminine, and Dean goes, that's disgusting. Bye.
Oh, really? What was that? Okay, anyway, let's talk about this.
Well, so there's a woman wearing a low-cut top, and she says, I'm sitting like this so you'll look at my breasts. I just bought them. I need a lot of attention.
I mean, they look great.
And
so,
yeah, good for her. And Dean starts like heading out, and then he comes back, and he just leans his head into frame and sort of smirks, staring at her boobs.
And like nods up and down to show his approval.
I mean, I guess she explicitly said that she wanted him to do that, so...
Looking at the woman's breast and nodding my head vigorously to show that I love it. Yeah, like...
Okay. And then he calls Bobby to test out sort of the range of this truth spell.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, I don't really have anything to tell you. I'm just here, hitting the books, drinking a nice glass of milk, and watching Tori and Dean. And apparently that's a reality show with Tori Spelling and her husband. And I don't know anything about Tori Spelling. But yeah, Bobby says he's a huge fan of her and that she's a real talent. And apparently this is embarrassing enough that Dean thinks that the truth spell's happening. Somebody who knows about Tori Spelling, let us know why this is supposedly embarrassing. And then Bobby goes, you know what else? I get a pedicure once in a while. Sorry, everyone's confessing their deepest, darkest secrets, and Bobby, who killed his wife, like, this is what it is?
And he killed the daughter of his best friend / lover. Yeah. Like, we have many avenues to tackle first, I think.
Oh yeah, but Bobby's also been the one who's like the hardest on we're just talking about our feelings like girls. Like, I feel like, or no, Dean said that, but I feel like Bobby brings it out of Dean.
Bobby did also say, like, oh, are we gonna keep talking like this, or are we gonna go grow lady parts like he did, like, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he has
did say that.
historically used this kinds of wordings.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's possible that him getting a pedicure is actually a deeper shame for him than killing the daughter of his best friend / lover. I'm not sure exactly. Is something being implied here when he says that he gets a pedicure at a Vietnamese place and that one of the employees there, like, gives a really good foot massage?
Yeah.
And, like, Dean says that he's scarred for life now. Does
No,
this...
I think something's just wrong with Dean.
Okay, because I was like, is it also a sex work massage parlor or no?
Like, I don't think at all. It's just Dean thinks that automatically he heard like Vietnamese joint, and this is where his mind went. Like, I honestly believe that. Like, there's no part in what Bobby is saying that I think is like sexual in nature, or like, at any point in this that Dean can now safely conclude that the end game is sexual in nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, is he just scarred that like Bobby has feet that he likes getting massages on? Like, it's a fundamental... Like, at some point, Bobby does remove his shoe, and I did go, is he gonna remove his socks?
Is he going to show feet? What is his name? Is his name Jim Beaver? I'm gonna look up Jim Beaver wikifeet.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know if he's there. Jim Beaver.
Look at wikifeet, man.
Yeah, I'm going on man.wikifeet.com.
It's man.wikifeet.com with an A?
He has a 4.72 out of 5, but I'm not...
That's pretty good. It
seeing
sounds like
it, but there's no photos in his gallery.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what people are rating this based off of.
Yeah. It's his personal analysis of his foot aesthetic is what this score is about.
Alright,
If you ever have some confidence, give yourself a 5.
Well, there's 4 people who rated a 5, 1 person who rated a 4, and 1 person who rated a 1.
Oh. Where the fuck are these people finding foot pics of Jim Beaver?
I don't know. They might just be people who like him as an actor and want to gas him up or gas him down.
Yeah, this is true.
So Bobby goes, I never told anyone that. Why am I telling you? Bobby, you could live a much happier life if this wasn't your deepest, darkest secret.
No, literally.
Yeah. And he goes, well, maybe because you're my favorite. Although Sam's a better hunter, lately anyway.
Which implies that, like, Dean is his favorite because Dean was a better hunter, which is also hilarious. Like, it's
I don't know if it implies that.
No, I think it implies that because he says,
okay,
like,
it implies
you're
that
my favorite.
It factors
but,
in.
yeah, Sam is a better hunter these days. Meaning that, like, Sam's standing a chance. Like,
yeah.
Sold Sam, he's like, who give a shit? Soulless Sam, love that. Is Bobby's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
He can, like, Sam can be like his son, but only if he doesn't have a soul.
So true. And yeah, Dean says that he's cursed, but hey, maybe he can use this to his advantage. And he's gonna hang up. And then Bobby says, did you know my first girlfriend turned out to be, and then Dean hangs up. What was that what was that? What was the joke supposed to be?
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I would like to believe it's lesbian. I mean,
why is Dean scarred about it?
I don't know. Something's wrong with Dean Winchester is the only thing we can conclude from this conversation. Like, he also, he also goes like, no, like, what do you mean no? Like, and the way he says it, it's like, no, I'm not gonna get into that because that's like, gonna scar me for life as well, just like the first thing that Bobby said about his pedicure. And it's like, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Have you considered that wrong, Dean?
I guess I assumed if it was something that it was a transmisogynistic joke.
I do think we're supposed to think of this joke as like he's supposed to say something transmisogynistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great. Good job, writers.
Yeah.
Dean calls Sam, leaves him a voice message saying, "There's a few things I want to ask you." Oh, okay. It's the roommate is who the person Sam's interviewing, according to the transcript.
Sam interviews this girl.
Yeah, so I guess probably college then, because she mentions her roommate being in school. I thought she was a high schooler.
Wait, so she killed her own cat?
Yeah.
Crazy. What a situation to be in.
I just feel like you can, if you need a cat school to figure out if your boyfriend's cheating on you, you can just find another cat.
Well, you can probably go to like those like antique shops that are like, we're so weird and eccentric kind of antique shops. Also, like you can probably find it. I bet if we look it up on Etsy right now, we can find one. It's probably illegal. Like, I don't think they allow it, but like, we can probably find one.
I mean, we can check.
I mean, I don't want
Etsy.com. Is it illegal?
I think there's like a thing about Etsy where you can't transport like animal remains or something.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of bobcat skulls, the real taxidermy skull.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe you can do anything that you want forever on Etsy.com /skulls.
Yeah.
The girl is convinced that her boyfriend is cheating on her, and she was completely obsessed with finding out the truth. And Sam goes to check her room. Meanwhile, we get a Dean-Lisa conversation, instigated by Lisa. So Lisa calls Dean, and Dean's like, "Oh shit," because like obviously bad time. Lisa says that like, Ben won't even talk about it. Dean is like, "Oh, sorry, I know I've been calling you for days and days on end, asking you to talk to me, but I just can't talk right now, okay? You may do this next time." And Lisa says that, like, you shoved my kid, so, like, let's do this now. And Dean goes, like, it wasn't like that. And Lisa asks, how was it like? And Dean just goes, I don't know.
Like, hello? What the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Hilarious.
What do you mean you can't explain?
Yeah. Lisa.
Do we need to unpack this? I don't understand it.
No, like, I think we've already unpacked it enough last episode where it's like there is no reasonable reason for Dean to hide this from Lisa. Lisa knows that he's a hunter and is currently hunting. And Lisa seems to be aware of his past exploits. And so is aware of what he has to do and aware of the things and dangers that come to him. Like, given all that, and given that she knows exactly what he's doing, which is hunting, she would understand fully what that would entail. And so there's no reason to hide this. Absolutely not at all.
If I'm gonna justify it, I think it's like the fact that he feels that putting her and Ben in danger by going to their house as a vampire was such a stupid move, which it is, that it would actually come off as worse than him just showing up and shoving them for no reason.
That's probably... Is that true? You think that's the case? Or it's
I don't know. If you don't
explanation, yeah.
Yeah. That's one explanation. I think it's possible, but I don't know. I feel like that comes from a place of Dean, like, being untruthful in order to be able to stay in the relationship, which I don't really feel like is his modus operandi. So
yeah, like, the relationship is already falling apart, so might as well just come clean. Like, obviously, the hiding what it is not working. So maybe telling what it is might work,
Yeah. Ay.
Lisa then says that, like, if I'm, like, you know, she goes, like, you want to know the truth? You got so much buried in there. And you
Fucking
push
stupid.
it down. And also, like, do you honestly think that you can go through life like that and not freak out? Just drink half a fifth a night and you're good?
I wish she had some things to say about herself.
Yeah. I mean, she said that she didn't expect Sam to come back when she signed up for this.
It's something.
Yeah. And she says that, like, the moment Sam showed up again, she knew what was up and that they have, like, an unhealthy, tangled up, crazy thing. As long as he's in your life, you're never gonna be happy. I do think, like, barring the contents of what she's saying, it does piss me off that, like, Lisa's not final goodbye. Like, we see her again. Then we never see her again. But, like, this, like, big breakup speech is one, as you said, very much just about Dean. And also, it's like, oh, we're going to fit perfectly into the themes and motifs of the episode. Like, you can't even give her the dignity of giving her her own, like, thing. I don't know. Something.
Like, just literally anything. Like, her thing so far has been that she wants Dean in her life because she wants a co-parent. Like, that's not gonna come up at all.
The fact that she, like, brings up Ben once, like, Ben won't even talk about it. And then that's it. Like, I don't know, like...
Yeah.
I thought that was the problem.
Yeah, and, like, I know that during her time with Dean, she would have learned more about his relationship with Sam, probably. But, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me that that's her main thing about him, is that he has a toxic relationship with his brother.
Yeah.
Like, earlier when she told him to go out and go hunting, she was just like, you know, like, you're not a construction worker. I feel like hunting is, like, just something that's important to you that you should do. Like, she doesn't bring up Sam at all during that time. Like, I feel like if this was gonna be a major issue she had, it should have been, like, consistent. At least we get a tiny bit of information about her, which is that she has a sister.
Yeah, because she says that, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it to come out that badly. I'm not saying, like, don't be close to Sam. I'm close to my sister. And then she goes, but if she got killed, I wouldn't bring her back from the dead. I feel like that's a you problem, Lisa.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's a you problem, Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you know that you're in a world where you can.
Yeah. You wouldn't at least give it a shot?
But, yeah, I mean, maybe one still wouldn't, and both of us are the weird ones. Like, maybe we've been poisoned by the CW supernatural.
Yeah, there is a very high chance that this is the case. In many aspects of life, even.
Yeah. I don't know. Literally, if, like, just somebody that I barely knew died, and I knew I was in a world where you could bring people back from the dead, like, I'd also be like, wouldn't you give it a chance?
Yeah. Perhaps.
But yeah. I don't know. Like, trying to bring, like, Dean didn't even do it successfully.
Yeah, well, first of all,
is she talking about season 2?
Yeah, probably. And it did jolt me a bit because I was like, oh, he told her about the demon deal. That's something to do, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've established that he sort of has told Lisa most things and also been a good amount of things, which also makes it so much weirder now that he's in the, like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything to protect you mode.
Yeah.
If, like, she knows so much about his past.
It feels so uncoordinated. Like, the beginning of the season, like, the first 2 episodes in this one. Because, like, well, like, the relationship meant something, you know? Like, the whole point that they were trying to achieve was that you can't, like, have one and the other both at the same, like, you know, the point they were trying to make was that, like, Sam was saying, like, you can't have both, Dean. And Dean's going, well, I'm going to try. Let's give it a try. Like, that's the thesis of the first few episodes. And it's just fascinating that, like, the way they approach it was that Dean does have both. Because he is aware and he is a hunter still. But, like, he also has a family who knows what's up. And it's like, the only way they can justify the perspective of, I'm poisoned and everybody around me will die if they get too close or whatever, is by erasing fully that aspect of the relationship. The very thing that made it worth exploring in the first place. So yeah, what a great loss. What a great loss. Because it is an interesting idea, and it's such a bummer that, like, they were like, oh, we have an interesting idea, but it's not easy to address. It's not easy to analyze and respond to. So let's just break it down to its most basic, most, like, nothing. Like, let's turn it into nothing so that we can explain it away. So, like, okay, slay. Dean says that, like, okay, well, me and Sam, we do have issues, but, like, you and Ben, and for a second I was like, wait,
also have issues.
Is he gonna accuse Lisa of having issues because Dean shoved this kid to a wall? But no, he was gonna say that, like, you guys are important to me, and Lisa goes, no, me and Ben can't be in this with you. I'm sorry. And then she hangs up.
Yep. So Sam, searching Corey's bedroom, finds, like, a box under the bed with a cat skull, her cat Mittens, who her roommate thought ran away. And Sam's heading down to meet Dean, ready to do some research. And Dean's like, well, first, there's a few things I want to ask you, and you're gonna tell me the truth. And Sam's like, oh shit, you're cursed? Okay, ask away. And Dean goes, when that vamp attacked me, why did you just stand there? And Sam hesitates, and then he goes, I didn't.
Love that.
Yeah, he says that he's
really putting on
out
the
of
face
shock.
too. Like, in this scene, he's really putting on the, I'm a little puppy who's so sad and so little and such a little puppy face.
Yeah. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, like, it was just shock and it was too late. I feel terrible about it. Like, Dean, I can't lie here. Do you really think I would let something like that happen on purpose? You're my brother! Which is also what he told Samuel last episode.
So true.
He goes, how could you even think such a thing?
Maybe you're the one who's evil because you think I'm so evil.
Yeah. Incredibly funny. And Dean...
How dare you think I'm evil when I'm evil?
Yeah.
So true.
Dean processes this. And I think, I don't know, he feels a little bit guilty about thinking that of Sam, but also still unsettled as fuck because then what was all of that? And he just goes like, oh, okay, sorry, I thought I saw something. I guess I was wrong. It's just been a bad day.
Aww.
And Sam's like, it's okay, I got your back. I always have.
Yeah, and he's still doing the face. But then he turns around to, like, go down the stairs or something.
And he goes sicko mode immediately.
He goes sicko mode face.
What a slay.
Yeah, and he is doing it in a cunty slaying way.
Yeah. No, this is a terrible situation to be in if you're Dean. But if you're Sam, you're the greatest comedian of all time.
Yeah. And it did break my heart a little bit how easy Dean was like, okay, I believe it. Like, you know, we spent the entire episode with him going, something's so wrong with Sam. This is not even my brother. It's not even my brother. Like, and then you see, like, here, like, literally just one instance of Sam going, oh no, Dean, like, I'm being for real. And how quickly he acquiesces.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how quickly, like, there is like, there is a thing where he thinks that like Sam can't lie to him. But if he does actually believe that this is a creature, not a person, he can go like, oh, but that's because this is a creature and not a person. And like, it really does show you how much Dean is willing to believe. Like, if he wanted to doubt this, he could have doubted it, But like, what he wanted the most is to hear Sam go like, no, Dean, I would never do that to you. And I don't know, it's just, it makes me sad to think about.
I mean, because the whole Lisa thing just happened, and Bobby was also like, are you sure you saw what you saw? So, yeah, I think he has good reason to want to hang on to, like, what he thinks might be left of his support system.
Yeah, and also, like, Lisa explicitly said that, like, I'm leaving because of Sam. Like, I mean, not explicitly, I guess, but, like, pretty much explicitly. Like, it's the underlying current of the conversation. And so, and I think this is what informs his actions later. Like, to think that, like, oh, I just lost this relationship because of this. And, like, if it's also bad, like, it's too much to bear. And so, it's easier to just believe that, like, no, it was just an honest mistake and nobody had bad intentions. And we all love each other and we're brothers,
Yeah, so Sam does research using the various ingredients found in the box and finds that it is a summoning spell for Veritas, goddess of truth. So anyone in the town who asks aloud for the truth invokes her, and then she just gives you the truth until you kill yourself, and then you become a tribute to her. And she eats your body.
Quite fun.
And, yeah, other lore, she doesn't like dogs. Her thing is coming down to the mountain to speak truth to the masses so that she could be worshipped. Dean calls her an attention whore. That seems unnecessary. And then they go, and what's the 21st century version of speaking truth to the masses? And they somehow make the giant logical leap that it's just a fucking news anchor.
I did think for a bit, like, oh, are they going to do like a vlog? Like a vlogger? But I was like, it's a bit too early, I think. Like, I wasn't sure. And then it's a news anchor, and I did find it hilarious because the way they worded it is like, the 21st century. Like, I'm pretty sure newscasters were also in the 20th century. Like, I'm pretty sure they were actually more prominent at that time. But like, let's okay. Sure, why not?
Yeah, and also, when Dean said his insult about Veritas, I was like, no, it's not the woman in the bar, right?
No.
Like, the breast implants woman, she says, like, I need a lot of attention. I was like, wait, what? But luckily that was not the case, because I don't think I would have been able to watch that. So, they, like, I guess sneak into where her talk show, Frank Talk, is, and then they get a lot of footage. And they zoom through it
to look for evidence. And I do think this is a wonderful scene to like foreshadow that Sam doesn't like
that soulless people don't sleep.
Yeah, because like Dean is buzzing around the room. Like it's like some parts are like in fast forward, or you know what I mean, like that. Where they're showing the motion across the room, and Dean is like buzzing around, eating here, eating there, lying down here, lying down
sleeping.
There. Sam is like
just
completely unmoving, even. Like, not even like fiddling as he sits, just completely like sitting completely still. Very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they find a clip where a dog is behind her and barks, and then her eyes start glowing.
So true. Also, like,
so true.
Does your muscles not like fatigue when you're soulless?
Well, that's why he was doing all those chin-ups, because of his bad posture.
Yeah, I suppose
You needed to warm those muscles up.
Yeah.
So they follow Ashley Frank to her home, which is a very beautiful, very fancy.
Truly gorgeous, yeah.
Yes. It's really nice. Also, I think she has like sort of like a scarf wrapped around her face.
No, I loved it because like
I love it.
Yeah, she had a hair scarf, and her car is the one with like open head. What's that called?
Yeah, it's a red convertible.
Yes, it's a convertible, and I did find it so amusing because like you know how like in Thelma and Louise they're also wearing hair scarves. And I always thought that was just like a fashion of the time. They were also in a convertible. And like literally watching this, I realized for the first time that the point of that is to keep their hair out of the wind. Isn't that so fun?
Yeah.
Because she removes it like immediately after she gets out. So it's like, it's like a helmet for the car, but like for your hair.
Yeah.
Very
That's fun. They go inside. And apparently the way to kill her is to stab her with a knife dipped in dog's blood.
Yeah. And Sam has acquired some dog blood.
Somehow.
And he asks, like, where did you get that? And do I want to know? And Sam goes, probably not.
Brother mad at him for hanging out with a dog. Brother not mad at him for killing a dog.
Literally.
Yeah, they go in. Nicest house in the world. So beautiful. And then there's a shrine to Veritas in it. Then they go into another room, which has the corpses of all the people who killed themselves. And, also this house is full of cats. They're so cute. They're so fluffy. And one of them's looking at the corpse. Adorbs.
Yeah.
So, Veritas
and also this
is
looks like
there.
very like Hannibal-ish, like that TV show Hannibal, which I did find very fun. Like, yeah, like it's pretty cool. And like, you know, like later on she cuts a tongue out of a person, but she does it like in a way that looks very like surgical. Like in comparison to how other scenes in Supernatural that feature cannibalism would have been, which I did think was incredibly fun.
So she's here and somehow she's changed into some fucking goddess costume.
Yeah. It's a gold dress. I mean, it's not a black evil woman dress.
Yeah. It's new. She knocks them out and ties them up. And she takes their dog blood knives and puts them away in a drawer. And yeah, she cuts the tongue out of the dentist surgically and eats it. And this is the part of every Supernatural episode when the Winchesters are tied up and then the villain's like, oh, let me monologue a bit about human nature and also about how you two are the sickest, most twisted people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm pretty sure she's seen more twisted people, like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, like, literally, yeah. There was that guy who raped a child in her sleep, like, earlier this episode. Do you remember that, Veritas? Well, anyway. So, she's like, I love tasting the tongue because it's where the lies are. And you guys lie so much. And when you base your life on lies, the truth comes along and destroys it. She should have told him to fucking call Lisa and tell her about the fucking vampire thing.
Literally.
Oh, well. Meanwhile, Sam has like a knife in his back pocket that he's surreptitiously using to cut through his ropes. And Veritas says, like, Dean, you have to tell the truth. How do you feel about your brother? And Dean says, better now. As of yesterday, I wanted to kill him in his sleep. And Sam's shocked. And Dean goes, I thought he was a monster, but now I think he's just acting like me. Literally, what does that mean? He's not acting like you, Dean.
He says later, I mean, I'm not a father, I'm a killer. The most absurd choice of words ever said.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. He says that, and that there's no way to change that. And he's so swag. Veritas goes up to Sam and is like, and how do you feel about getting back hunting with Dean, huh? And Sam's pretending that he's struggling. And then he says his fake truth, which is such a Hallmark card statement, which I love.
No, literally.
He goes, what we do is hard, but we watch out for each other, and that's what's important.
No, but why
like,
is this
somebody's
literally
trying to win the Miss America pageant? Like, hello?
No. But why is this literally every end of episode of Supernatural for like 8 episodes
Season
straight
5,
in
yeah.
season 5?
So funny. And Veritas goes, what? What the fuck? How are you doing that? Like, and she starts freaking out for real because Sam's lying, and she goes, what are you? And she goes to Dean, what is he? And I feel like that was a fun way to continue ramping up the fear about Soulless Sam.
Yeah.
And she says, you're not human. And Dean goes, what? Yeah,
true.
but before anything else really happens, Sam escapes the ropes. He tosses the knife to Dean, so he does help Dean free himself. And then the two of them stab Veritas with those dog knives. And then she dies. And Sam's like, okay, great, good job, folks. But Dean's pointing the knife at him.
Like, Dean starts not really lunging at Sam, but more of like menacingly walking towards him. Cornering him is what he's doing. And Sam is saying like, no, Dean, it really is me. It really is me. But Dean is saying like, no, you're not. You're not my brother. What are you? And Sam goes like, okay, so here's the truth. I am me. And it's just that there's something wrong with me. And I've known it for a while. He's gay. I lied to you. He's gay. No, he's not gay. He's a really terrible person right now. And he goes, I let you get turned
too.
by the vamp. No, I mean, yeah. You know, let's be inclusive. Diversity win. This gay man is so horrible. I let you get turned by the vampire. And he said his reasoning, which is that he knew there was a cure and that we needed an in the nest. And I knew you could handle it. And Dean says, like, I could have died. I could have killed Ben.
I will say, I think the killing Ben is on Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, first he could have killed Lisa. Second, you chose to go there while you were a vampire.
And Sam says, like, that should have stopped me cold, but it just didn't. I just don't feel it anymore. And he says that, like, ever since he came back, he was a better hunter because he's not scared anymore. And he can't feel, like, he can't access those feelings anymore. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I need help. And he is doing a sad little face.
Yeah.
And Dean is just listening to this. He puts the knife down. And, like, he, like, turns around and, like, laments a bit. And then he, you know, turns back around, starts punching Sam repeatedly. Until Sam is, like,
times.
unconscious on the floor. With, like, a broken nose or something.
How many times? Supernatural, like, really varies on how many times you can punch someone in the face before you kill them.
Yeah.
Like, because whenever they have fights, like, people are trying to kill them, and they punch them, like, they punch the Winchesters in the face, like less than this, but it's like, wow, they're almost dead. But Dean's intention wasn't to kill, I suppose. You said you had thoughts on this.
I don't know, like, I think I mentioned it earlier that this scene is about what Dean has lost and he is putting that blame onto like Sam. Like, I can't believe I left my family for you kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, he also is the one who chose not to tell Lisa anything. I mean, yeah. Like, it is like, I don't know, like, I wonder if he thinks this is like quid pro quo. Because Sam did let him be turned into a monster. Yeah. And even if that is not like a direct thing that Sam did, it kind of is.
It
like,
is.
It is. And so, I don't know. Like, I mean, again, like, I don't think really that the episode did a really good job of showing the negative effects of being a vampire to Dean was. Like, it showed very well, as I've said, the like horror of knowing that Sam let that happen. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the episode really got to convey that well, like the feeling of like Dean being a vampire and how that's bad and wrong. Because the episode goes in expecting you, the audience, to think that it's just automatically bad. You know? And so they don't really linger a lot on exploring that. Do you get what I mean? Am I making sense?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't really know what to say in this part other than let's see how it pans out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have thoughts on how
and then I do and like I don't know, like it's still Sam's body. Like, is he gonna be like, what's the situation? Like, is he gonna have a broken nose? Or, you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
What's the deal?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Well, what did you think about this episode?
I like the Soulless Sam plot, and I think they did a good job with continuing it this episode. The rest of it, whatevs.
Yeah, I do like the Dean and Sam plot. The Dean and Lisa plot leaves much to be desired for me, personally. Well,
yeah.
Best line, worst line?
The worst line is, of course, I can't explain it.
No, yeah, that is a pretty bad line. I do think the Bobby's, like, speech... Like, every time Dean reacted to anything, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, not Bobby's speech, but, like, Dean's response to it. And also just the general way it's written, as if we, the audience, are supposed to be completely on Dean's side. Of like, oh, yeah, Bobby, ooh. Like, what? I don't know. I personally don't feel that about it. And I personally... would have liked to see Bobby's feet. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you and 4 people.
Yeah. I mean, one of them gave it a 1/5, so...
No, it was rated by 6 people. There were 4 5s, 1 4, and 1 1.
Ah, okay. Worst line. No, that's my
that
worst line.
That was the worst line.
Best line. I suppose I like when Sam was like, sucks. No, Sam is hilarious. Like, I'm so sorry.
He's pretty funny.
I do like when he's like, Dean, how can you think I'd do that to you? You're my brother. Or when he was like, it's tough, the life we live, but at the end of the day, we have each other's backs. And then, like, the camera pans to Dean. Like, it's hilarious. Like, it pans to Dean, like, it's a really touching moment. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, what's your best line?
I don't know. I think the whole Bobby being like, or the worst case scenario is that it's just Sam in there, like, is a pretty good setup for the rest of the distrust in the episode. Writer sins. Spread those sheets.
Spread those sheets. Well, this is an even episode, so No, spreadsheet first.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It isn't even an episode. What are you talking about?
No, I know, but we're not doing the IMDb guess first.
Yeah.
We're doing the spreadsheet first.
Okay. Spreadsheet misogyny, I do think there is.
Yeah.
I am... Do you think we count, like, the treatment of Lisa, or we can extend that
like,
to...
what would the points be if we did, and what would the points be if we didn't?
Yeah, that's I don't really know. So I suppose we shouldn't. Is that the correct response? I don't know.
Or no, I think it's like, I feel like the Lisa stuff, I feel like the vibe of this episode is a 2 to me, and that vibe is mostly through, like, the random stuff, but, like, I feel like some of the Lisa vibe sneaks into the 2 rating in my head, but, like, what's the, like, number in your head?
I would say I was actually thinking 1 without the Lisa stuff. With the Lisa stuff, I'm not sure. Let's I think maybe let's address the Lisa stuff in a future episode. Oh no, you know what? Then, I want to address this here because the way they do handle her and the way they change her. And I think maybe a part of it we can say that, like, she's talking about, like, truth of the matter. Like, she wouldn't say this. Maybe she would bring up more personal things if she was, you know, thinking, like, you know, saying things out of her own volition. But because she is, like, being mind controlled by, like, a truth god that's purpose is to, like, make you kill yourself, you know, like, it's purposefully, like, a bad way to do it. And I suppose if you really want to hit Dean where it hurts, you'd go, yeah, your brother and you're so fucked up and you don't even love each other. Like, yeah. So, I don't know. I still think, like, in terms of, like, narrative, the fact that we as an audience are supposed to conclude, I'm playing 5D misogyny just with the writers of Supernatural. Yeah.
Mm. So what's the point?
I don't know. I would say 2.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, racism. Yeah. Homophobia. The racism.
Oh wait, I think we should increase the misogyny because of the Bobby phone call.
Yeah.
Or
no.
Does that just go into homophobia?
I think that
because there's also transmisogyny, maybe, yes. So that would go into misogyny, and then some of the other stuff would go into homophobia.
Yeah, I think we should increase the misogyny into 2.
Yeah.
And then we should put something in homophobia. Do we put something in racism? Like, I do think the pedicure joke relies on a
assumption
something
about Asian massage parlors. Yeah, I think that's like half a thing, or like 3/4 of a thing, and then I think, like, there's 2 Black characters in this episode, the manager and the bartender.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, one-off characters, like, they don't need to be, like, morally upstanding and perfect.
Yeah.
If they're Black. Like, I don't think that's required, but I think because Supernatural has a history of just not having any positive Black characters besides Henriksen, who they then kill so horribly. And Rufus, who we love, but they're gonna kill him too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it is something that I'm more sensitive about. So I think those add together to be a point.
To be a 1, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe like just a little 1 in homophobia, or is the body stuff
I think
more
so.
egregious than that? Yeah.
Yeah. IMDb, I am the first to go. Well, I would say this one People liked last episode. And this one is like part 2 of it. I would say last episode was better, like in terms of the Sam and Dean. And I really just do like the directing of that episode. Like, I think it's good to look at, but also allegedly I don't look at the episode, so maybe I'm not the best judge. I would say maybe this one is an 8.1.
Okay. I'll go higher to an 8.2, and I'm gonna regret it because I've lost every time.
Okay. I'm hedge. I'm bet. We are the hedging your bets, brothers. Let's see. Oh, it's an 8.4. You got it.
Oh my god.
It's a point something higher than last episode. That's probably
the
fine.
picture for this episode in IMDb looks so silly. Like, it looks like a behind the scenes photo.
That is, it's called a still or something. I mean,
oh, okay, it is.
That's just what.
It just looks like Jared Padalecki's helping her, like, adjust the strap on her dress.
It looks like Jared Padalecki is trying to cut a piece of a very realistic looking cake.
No, for real.
Okay, what do people like about things? I think this one addresses that, like, the episode does end with you going, wait, does Sam really think he needs help, or is he just saying that to appease Dean again? And yeah, that is like the main feeling I think that I got from Sam at the end of like, okay, but what can you believe? I did think about how Dean starts this season with like, with his mind being messed with by the djinn, right? And then like Sam's there and he's like, wait, you're fake too or whatever. And then it's not. And how like disorienting it all is for him. Like this part of the season really is about like knocking Dean off his feet. Like, it's making him unbalanced. And like, yeah, I think the show does a really good job of putting us in that position.
This person's really annoyed that the mosaic they used is for Theodora, the consort of Emperor Justinian I, instead of a goddess. I did think that looked sort of familiar. I feel like I learned about her in history class. This person says the whole Sam's soul arc didn't seem like that important of an ordeal to consume nearly an entire season.
He literally lost his fucking soul.
He's one of the main characters. That's his whole soul.
Wait, I'm gonna open it all up and then I'm going to look if anyone mentions Cass.
This one says for a filler episode, it's actually not that bad. I don't think it's a filler episode.
People are not talking about Cass.
But he shows up a little bit.
Like, they're not saying, like, and Cass and Dean even had sex this episode.
Someone gave it a 1 out of 10, but seemed to like it.
Yeah. Do you think people who, like, leave IMDb reviews are more or less likely to be Destiel shippers? Probably less.
Less.
Yeah. Well, maybe that is...
The Destiel shippers are blogging.
Our fandom interaction with this show at this point is pretty much like what I see on my Tumblr account, what people send us, like when they email us or when they message us or send us asks, and like the IMDb reviews, which is a very fascinating way to do it. But yeah. That's it for this episode of Busty Asian Beauties. Next week, we will be discussing Season 6, Episode 7, Family Matters. Leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is BABPOD, BABPOD. Thanks to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/BustyAsianBeautiesPod, which is where our outtakes live, and check out our merch at babpod.redbubble.com.
You can email us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at westasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.